Alright, there we go. Fire this up. Again. That. Hurry up and get this live stream rolling, my friends. We are in Pyro, gotta make our way. Actually, let me go ahead and set course for the gateway. Just fire it up. Stanton gateway. Yo, what's up, Koba? How you doing, man? We're making our way to the wormhole real quick while I get the YouTube side of this set up. Let's get launched. There we go. I am trying to get moving. I wanted to be doing this, 25-30 minutes ago, but been battling against a really good barbecue brisket and way too much garlic bread, if you know what I mean. Oh, here we go. Let me just add some channel text to this thing. We'll see hauling missions. .2. Alright, that's fine for tags. I don't need to. I need to put a little like noteboard or something, or a quick clipboard for automatic, balanced. There we go. Channel tags and such. Hey man, I'm new to SC and I have to say your videos are very informative and helpful. Keep up the good work. Yo, Dave of Water? Sorry, man. I'm still waking up. I'm really happy that those videos are helpful, man. That's the goal, man. That's what I want. I want to be able to help out new players, as I've gotten suggestions in the comments for making certain guides, and I want to do a lot more of them. So if you've got specific aspects of Star Citizen you'd like to see, feel free to let me know in the comments of the videos or even here on the live stream. I'm stoked. It's cool to have you in the game. Hopefully you've been having a fun time and haven't run into too many hiccups. I know the community is also really great in-game for new players as well. Though the chat can get a little weird sometimes. When in doubt, if things get weird, F12 is your best friend because it gets rid of it. But generally people are awesome and really helpful. This morning we're gonna crack up the whole sea, kind of get back to our roots and see how she's performing with the hauling missions. We did a little bit of the commodities trading over the weekend. I got a video of that should be coming out today, of sort of my solo experience trying to do commodities runs and my thoughts compared to hauling missions. For anybody who's curious, I was a bit underwhelmed. It was cool setting up work orders, running in and seeing how it functions, and it's pretty simple for the most part. As far as getting the auto-loading function to work, in a lot of ways, it's basically hauling with extra steps. But yeah, Koba, global sometimes can get really weird. It's interesting to see how it's sort of evolved over the years. But I have had really good experiences with, just seeing people in the global chat jumping at the chance to help somebody. Like, there'll be this like really weird, outlandish conversation going on, and then there'll be a random chat of somebody saying, my quantum drive won't work, and then like 5 people go from that really weird ass conversation to immediately troubleshooting and helping this person whose quantum drive isn't working. Which is kind of cool to see, honestly. And then after they're done, they get back to the weirdly outrageous conversations they're having. It's a strange experiment in human psychology. All right. Pulling up Stanton Gateway. So we've got the Maggie C waiting for us on Pyro side. Or, sorry, on Stanton side at Pyro Gateway. So she's ready there. All we got to do is jump through the gate and get rolling. We joined on our buddy Doc Hobo's server too, which only had like 70 people in it too. So it should be a pretty chill time. Navigating around the craziness that is the Pyro Gateway debris field is always kind of wild. I am this week probably going to put out the kind of short and quick sort of how-to vibe with wormhole travel. You know, jumping through these wormholes. Basically exploring all the ways that it can fail. To basically show everybody what not to do. And just basic tips when it comes to like your jump drives and everything. And how to make it as little a headache as possible to navigate. We're gonna head over now and cross back into Stanton for our hauling. I do plan to jump into all of the hauling game in Pyro as well. Pyro basically makes everything harder as far as rep grind in that sense, which is fine. I like a challenge, but it'll take me a little time to get up to speed. Yo, Doc, the server's been good so far. Awesome, good to hear, man. Yeah, I'm excited to put that TS2 to work, dude, and see how the whole C's handling these hauling missions. Ooh, a little close to that. Probably we're fine, but my starboard side is where my big wing is, so let's be careful. Let's correct our velocity towards our Einstein-Rosen bridge here. There we go. Beautiful. There's always something so epic about pulling up to the wormhole, dude. I love it. I really do. I think this is one of the coolest ways. Oh, we're upside down, according to these posts. Every time I see that TSAS, I think of TSA. Like I'm going through pre-check or something at the airport. There's so much to this game, it's mind-blowing. I was a long-time EVE Online player, and I'm loving the variety. Yeah, there are a lot of players that have loved and still love EVE, as well as Elite Dangerous. Star Citizen, man, is a wild world for us sci-fi lovers, dude. It's a good time. If you haven't seen this yet, this should be good. We're gonna jump through this wormhole back to Stanton. Tuning should be good. Everything looks phenomenal, and here we go. This has to be one of the coolest experiences in a space game where I've actually enjoyed the travel between star systems. Alright. Let's try to avoid this quantum tunneling here. There we go. The music's really quiet in here today. Alright, there's the threshold. As we come over to the Stanton side. Yeah, when I do the wormhole travel video, I'm going to do a few things, like intentionally running into these quantum pillars, dragging the walls, all kinds of stuff. Oh, this is kind of cool. A little spiral effect going on. Alright. See, I can hear the music in the background. Maybe I have it down a little low. That's kind of unfortunate. The music really adds to the hype, too. And here we are. And there is the beautiful blue and red nebula that is Pyro Gateway. Almost blacked out there coming out. My pucker factor got increased yesterday. Got pirated while flying my reclaimer. Oh yeah, we were talking about how you got through the gateways with that, all the stims, right? I ended up backspacing, grabbing my C2, and pirated them back. Hell yeah. Eye for an eye, right? Okay, there is Pyro Gateway, and our whole C will be waiting for us. Let's roll. There's always something going on, even when not according to plan. Yep, absolutely. I'm really hoping we'll check once we get touchdown. We're going to set our medical spawn to Pyro for now, or Pyro Gateway. And I'm going to see what kind of runs we're looking at for our cargo hauling. As far as if we're going to be running like you know, Terra to Magnus or Everest to Pyro, it'd be sweet if we could go Everest to Pyro. I'd like to see how that's running. Did they buff the Reclaimer? You know, I've heard some people mentioning the Reclaimer, but I honestly don't know. Maybe Retgar can answer that one if he knows. Oh yeah,
Okay to launch.
Oh, did it work? Wow. My request to land actually worked with my binding on my stick. Usually at Pyro it doesn't. I come way over here. Yo, Relay, what's up? Some say yes. Haven't tried the Reclaimer yet. Redgar saying, yeah, they did. I scraped the Hammerhead yesterday in under 30 minutes. A task that used to take about 2 hours. Oh, so the salvage head got a buff. That sounds freaking dope, because, yeah, holy cow, 30 minutes from 2 hours, that's kind of nutty. The Reclaimer basically uses a trawler head, but in a size 3, right? Alright. Let's get turned around here. Got the ship 2 days ago, never used it. I've got a limited time in the Reclaimer as its pilot, and I enjoyed that very much. It was my first time flying anything that big, so I was, as you can imagine, pretty excited. Ooh, a little love tap to the wings coming in here. Whoa! Okay.
Complete. Have a pleasant stay.
The thruster sway just got crazy. I mean, it's not the cleanest landing, but we touched down. Okay, we're just gonna leave it. We're gonna leave her be. Let's go refuel. Yeah, the thruster sway to the Corsair is pretty gnarly when you're taking off and landing. I remember when I was leaving the station yesterday, that she was bending down and doing all kinds of craziness. Alright, surface level. Yeah, watch 2 clips. They say heads are buffed. We got M2 and a Guardian for free after 4.2. Oh, nice! If you're in that mode, make sure to use VTOL or you'll have a bad day. Good to know. Good to know. Send that back up. I kind of like that, though, because that means that VTOL's got even more purpose. I mean, VTOL was already really great for most ships. Yeah, we're a little lopsided there, but she should be fine. Let's go ahead and store the ship. We'll go set our med spawn. We'll make sure we get our hydration nutrition on us. And move along. Where did it go?
Your vehicle has been placed.
Alright. Yo, Whiskey Pete. The Asgard tried to pitch straight up into the ceiling on me. Oh, no. Doc, you're talking about the Reclaimer, trying to unload it? I know that's a consistent thing I've heard from people, is that the layout of the Reclaimer's bays and such are not ideal. Alright. So, Redgar, on the real estate side, I'm still kind of going through the onboarding stuff for now. What is today's the 23rd, right? Yeah, so tomorrow I've got new member orientation with the East Polk County Realtor Association, so I'll be throwing on my new slacks and polo to go get that done. I've basically been doing a lot of the boring initial sort of setup kind of thing you do with pretty much any company you join, really. The administrative stuff, but we should be able to fly through that this week and get into some of the more fun stuff. But it's progressing, which is good. I got my command portals all set up, headshots done, so I got a whole new professional wardrobe lined up. It's exciting to be kicking off the new career, especially, you know, with family involved and just having the warm welcome of the team basically ready to pull me in and put me to work. It's the hardest part, or the most daunting part, I think, I'm very fortunate to say, is not really going to be an issue because I already have a brokerage and a team within that brokerage just ready to utilize me and feed me leads and put me into showings and houses and all. So I'm going to be able to sort of speed run that early process, and hopefully that translates to a pretty awesome career. But yeah, I'll keep you all posted as things progress there. Let's get the Maggie C queued up here. She should be ready for us. Heck yeah. We're going to do our hanger trick. And so Dave, if you're watching, this is one of the little tricks I mentioned in my videos. You want to call your ship, you want to give it 3 to 4 seconds and then store it. And what this is going to do is basically spawn the large hangar without risking your ship getting eaten by the big hangar elevator floor that can sometimes cause issues. Because sometimes there's a discommunication, what the hell? A desync or communication error between the elevator coming up and your hangar spawning here and your ship spawning, and bad things can happen. So if you call it and then store it and then come down to your hangar like we have here, you can then just call your ship from here and bypass that headache for the most part. In all the times I've done this tactic, it's only backfired like maybe 2 or 3 times where the station was determined and puts my ship into a claim status the second I try to call it. But usually this works pretty well. Just double check while we're waiting for the doors to close. While the doors and all are still closing, you can actually still look at your loadout. So we're just going to take a quick peek. I don't have a jump drive in this thing. I must have forgotten to equip it. I'll have to include that in the tutorials. But yeah, we got our TS2. We got all of our other stuff. We're looking good. Just remember, no testing the beds with hot clients. Don't worry, my friend. We're keeping it professional here. I'm still Sweatpants Nation. Yeah, man. I basically live my life in either like workout clothes or something similar. So it was kind of cool. You know, I went all out, man. I ran over to Men's Warehouse. I was like, all right, load me up, guys. I want some nice polos, some slacks, some blazers, sport coats, some nice shoes. Because depending on the situation, depending on the clientele, you know, sort of dress to match their vibe. But it was kind of cool having my own little sort of treat yourself 2025 wardrobe routine. It's also kind of nice when you go in and they tell you, you know, like, so a little humble brag moment here, but when you're putting on a sport coat and it fits well, and then the guy goes, yeah, we're gonna have to get that tailored. Your upper body's a bit wider than your than your waist, so you know, basically because muscles, we're gonna have to get this custom fit. And I went, son of a bitch. But that's a good feeling at the same time. So, you know, the 2 sport coats I ordered, I'm excited for. Probably going to be another week or 2. And I've had to bump pretty much all my clothes up to an XL now from a large. So, yeah, good changes, guys. Good changes all around. All these early morning sessions that get me ready to go to the gym have been paying off. All right, let's see. I did see that. Helpful. I had so many ships get eaten by the hangar floor. Awesome. Sweet. Happy to help there too. Yeah, that method has been a pretty tried and true way to avoid the hangar gobbling up my ships. Alright, now let's get into work here. On the hauling side, let's see what kind of interstellars we're dealing with. What are our main big boys? Where are they going? Scroll down. Alright, here we go. We got our big ones. We got Everest to Magnus. Even 3600. I actually really like that. That's very pleasing to the eye. Terra to Magnus. Okay, so we got 2 going to Magnus. This is going to be a Magnus kind of day. Terra to Pyro. There we go. So I'm excited because we're looking at between a 120 gig jump as compared to a 53, 54 gig jump. So Terra to Pyro is probably what we're going to be running. But what we want to see here are our options now going from Pyro to Terra. And in my testing of commodities, this is where we might be able to utilize something. So if we don't have any good runs here, maybe we can do a commodities run from Pyro back to Terra to complete our little loop. Let's look though. Let's look at our interstellars and see if we got any options that are going to take us back up to Terra from here. Pyro to Terra has been a route that I haven't seen really filled out all that often. Oh, there we go. We got one for 154K. So not bad, not bad. Now, I'm wondering how that'll compare to potential commodities runs. You know what we might do is we'll run this one initially. We're going to go ahead and accept that. And while we're on our jump, we'll pull up UEX Corp to see if we've got any commodities runs between Pyro and Terra that might be worth taking instead. So that'd be dope. Well, let's come back down here. Usually there's only like one Interstellar that's going to be running like this. Sometimes you get lucky and get two, but that's notoriously been pretty rare in my experience with this. Oh, these are juniors. We don't really want to mess with that. We got mediums. I still long for the day that we have a filter. Damn, really? All right. For the sake of just moving along here, we're going to... Oh, awesome. I remembered all my power allocation. And today, we've got working MFDs. That's a nice change. Are we going to be able to request departure? No. Okay. So, Pyro's doing the thing. So, also, Dave, another tip, if you haven't caught this one in my videos yet, when you're specifically at Pyro Gateway, guys, I haven't had this problem anywhere else, but Pyro Gateway specifically, my hotkey for requesting departure never works. Well, it did in the Corsair, actually, flying in. It's like the barrier of that 10-click armistice zone is a little weird on Pyro. So what does work is coming into your actual MFDs, and I believe it works at F11 as well, but you got to hail it through your MFD. So we'll come here, and now it's actually going to function, but the hotkey for me is always a problem here for some reason. I should probably check to see if there's a... So I love the natural sway of the whole sea as compared to some of the other ships. But I need to see if there's an actual like issue console for this specific weird sort of hailing problem here at Pyro. I imagine there should be, but I'm not positive. Let's see, did our landing gear behave? Is it going up? Oh man, our landing gear's bugged today. It seems like if your whole sea stays out too long, your landing gear becomes an issue, but it'll at least go up once we enter quantum. Alright, let's break out of here. Let's go ahead and get expanding. And find our cargo section.
Thank you, and please visit again.
So I'm not sure exactly where we're popping out of, so I'm going to say below. There it is. Now, this is also probably the case here. Yep. So I got to hail the cargo separately too. There we go. Oh, we got lucky. It only took one try. Sometimes you got to hit the cancel and do that a couple of times, but awesome. Let's pop over here and get loaded up. This will be real quick because it's only 620 SU of silicon. Back to Terra. Looking good, even though our landing gear's still out. Yay. Yeah, this 50 or so gig jump will be real quick with this TS2. We're going to pay attention to as well how many times we have a full successful load. Alright, parking brake engaged. See it, we're fully stopped. I also need to take note of where we're at and how many missions we're doing in my data fashion that we were doing last time. Let me pull up my phone, try to keep my head on straight as we look into that. Or is my content side of things... Wait, what did I... Oh no, hold up. Oh, Content Hub, that's what I put it under. Star Citizen. Whole sea large loads. There they are. Okay. Cargo transferring. Is it still transferring? Okay, there it is. Awesome. At least those are coming on pretty well. Oh, we're getting the... So interesting. Alright, so we got the forward port spline and we got the aft ventral spline. And is that it? Cargo transfer complete. Alright, let's go ahead and break away from the cargo section. We're going to head straight up.
Thank you, and please visit again.
The benefit of traveling light. I will check on the chat in just a sec. Let me just try to get all this Oh no! I am almost empty in fuel. We gotta go refuel first. Alright. Check your fuel levels, friends. Check your fuel levels. Forgot to do that after sending a mining order to my cat. Lost about 600k. Oh, no. I have seen the movie I Love You, Man. I have. It's been years, but yes, I have. I have seen that. Alright, hang on. I gotta find myself an external pad that we can get close enough to refuel real quick because I'm dumb and forgot to make sure my ship was refueled. Now, where are these pads hiding? Oh, I think I see them. Dead ahead right here. This will be interesting. So if this works, and it should, we should just have to hover over the pad really close and we'll be able to refuel our quantum fuel. Sort of a workaround to when you forget to make sure your ship is refueled. I'll be able to look at the chat a second once I'm not trying to refuel this thing and hit this pad here. Alright, let's see. It's a little trickier. Woo! Just want to make sure I don't hit my splines. It's kind of funny that this happens. I can almost imagine like a virtual little dude, like a fuelie from the Navy running out with a pipe, EVA style, and plugging up to the ship. Alright. Let's get down here. Here we are. Go ahead and hit coupled mode now. Hopefully this works. Come on, Chris Roberts. Oh boy. Maybe not. I have to get a little lower. Oh, man. Oh, they might have patched this out. Yeah. I was trying to sort of avoid that, but, I mean, let's see if we can. We're going to collapse inward. Just not going to look at it. This part bugs me. This breaks the immersion! But this is kind of what I get for not making sure we were refueled. Yeah, there is no collision. So worst case, if you're in this issue for the sake of saving time, it might be worth breaking the immersion a little bit just to refuel. Yeah. There we go. Repair. Oh, we were hurting too. Okay. We're getting refueled now. Let's take a look at this. Feels good when you finally notice the progress you made in the gym. Yeah, absolutely. It does. It's a motivational aspect of it for sure. Landing gear, only on EU server. I have that shit on AOS. It works fine. Nice. Yeah, actually, where are we chilling today? Let's see. What server are we in? We are over here in APSE. Is this Aussie? APSE? Shard 40? We're either in Australia or an Asian server. APSE2 Alpha. Alright, our fuel should be good now. Let's go ahead and get moving. Let's get our splines back out. We're like in stealth cargo mode at the moment. There we go. Alright. Little detour is over. Let's get back to work. Wow, I was right. It's like right at 53 gigs out. Thought so. You do this enough, you sort of start to remember distances. Like Terra to Magnus being 119.5. Right on. Now while we're jumping, we can look at a few things. We're in the TS2, so we're going to get there quick. We won't have all the time in the world. Well, let's see here. I've been doing a lot of member hauling missions in my Asgard, stacking 6 at a time from Port Tressler, saving up for the whole sea, and it's awesome, dude. Hell yeah, glad to hear it. It can be a bit of a grind to get up to the whole sea, but actually stacking the member missions is what got me a lot of the way there. I was running them basically out of my Caterpillar. Yeah, I would stack. I was originally stacking the 8 at a time, but what I started doing, especially out of the Raft or the Cat or whichever ship you're using that seemed to be a little bit faster for me, just more efficient, was from, at least in the Hurston area, taking the 5 99k missions versus taking all 8 missions because the other 3 are like 90k. It sort of sped it up. You know, it moved it a little bit faster because I only had 5 missions to manage. It was about 500k, and I'd wipe it out in a little bit under an hour, and I would just put that on repeat, essentially. Play some music and stuff, and just go hauling. That's been a really fun way to run around. I'm pretty sure you can mirror that in Microtech really well. I know ArcCorp wasn't as easy to sort of stack in that same fashion. Didn't have quite as many options. And for one, I noticed the first load or 2 always came up short, about 3 or 4 or 5 normally were full, and 6 always bugged out on me. Oh, as far as how many whole sea loads are running? I do those 99k missions out of Port Tressler myself. Yep. Made 115 mil in 401 doing only Terra to Pyro. 100% are like 20 to 30 missions, no more. That's for 10 days only whole sea. Hell yeah, 115 mil. That's insane, dude. My God. I always folded them in and landed. Cargo didn't have... Oh, yeah, that's cool. I'm catching up. I wonder if you could pull forward and angle back. So I definitely have gotten it to refuel with splines out, hovering over the pad before. I'll have to play with like the angle that might work a little bit better. Because I don't think it's like patched out. I think I just wasn't hitting the sweet spot there. I don't know. Yo, Black Colt, what's going on? I'm a mil or so from a whole C or a few more mil from a C2. Can't decide which one would be better. Oh, man, the C2 is a great ship. I mean, I don't fly it myself because I've got a Caterpillar and a Raft and then my Taurus and my whole C, but I've had so many conversations with people that just they love their C2, and I've spent a good amount of time on an M2 as a co-pilot or as a deckhand, so to speak. That's a little tough. I mean, I have had a good time with the whole C, and it is the money maker. If you want a really good revenue driver, the whole C is actually fantastic. Even getting partial completions, you know, you're getting about 76%, 75-76% of the payout. So we'll see how that translates today, because once we get to Terra, we're going to do the big 700k mission back, and we'll see if it's a full complete or a partial. I'm betting partial. Full completes are a bit of a rarity with that much cargo. But even at a partial, it's still about 540k in that simple, that one run down. And as opposed to commodities trading, you're not having to actually park, run inside, set up the work order to deliver, get back outside, hop in your ship, go to the cargo area, which I finally have gotten some experience doing. And on our run back, this time, now that I'm sort of caught up on chat a little bit, we will look at the commodities that we might be able to run from Pyro here to Terra to see if it's actually going to be worth more than the 150k that we're currently making on this hauling mission we're doing. And yeah, man, we are flying in here since we're traveling light. We only have 600k cargo on our backs, so this is really easy. Biz Bob, what's up? How's the whole seat bloop working? We'll see. I'm actually just kind of getting into it here. On Saturday, I was running some commodities routes.
Hello.
Mostly Terra to Magnus and then Magnus to Pyro, because Magnus got full and I couldn't finish dropping stuff off at Magnus. So I had to divert to Pyro to drop the rest of the load. But we're going to find out. We're in full retro burn here. We're coming in a little fast. I'm not being very optimistic by having my ship pointed away from my velocity indicators, but we're still slowing down pretty good. Yeah, your vertical strafe is a lot stronger than your lateral strafe, so if you need to correct, it's good to roll and then vertical strafe yourself in this particular ship. Alright, let's just get down in here. Collision warning, meaning there are probably some abandoned boxes. Now, we are in a very light server, so hopefully that's a good thing for us. We only have 65 people in the actual game client. 6 people in this particular server. So this offload should be fine. This would be a clean little 154K. And what we're going to do is actually leave the box. Partial complete on our first small mission. Damn. Looks like we missed an 8 SKU. That's too bad. Did it deliver, though? Is it? Yep.
Thank you.
No, we're a couple. That's why we stopped moving. Okay. We're going to kind of cruise away so we don't get pulled into the... Oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? Mall cops. We don't want to get impounded. Alright, we're going to have to submit this. We're definitely well over 75%, so we're not going to take a hit.
Warning, you are blocking an active flight lane.
We're
Please
leaving.
vacate the vicinity.
We're leaving. We're leaving. Relax. Yeah, I was kind of slow rolling away. Mall cops, dude. Alright. Let's jump on this big mission real quick. This is the senior mission, too, which is kind of cool. So 711 for this one. Well, more likely about 540,000, because it's very unlikely that this is going to fully complete. All right. Let's get this loaded up.
You are clear to launch.
Okay, box assigned. Wonder if we can actually stay lined up with our target, too. That'd be cool. Let me get our velocity indicator where it needs to be. And then I am going to do what I've come to like doing, which is orient so that we're actually facing where we're going to jump. I really like doing this. Yep, there's our box. Ooh! A little too fast. Went right through the box. Whoopsies. Alright, there we go. Coupled engaged. Come to a stop here. Immediately start unloading. That's a good sign. Small boxes coming on, and then there come the big ones. Looks like this is a load of hydrogen. So heck yeah. Alright. I grounded my raft until they toned down the hanger wash. Oh, is it that bad? Yo, good morning, Pete Beef. How you doing, man? Yeah, I'll be using the raft a lot in Pyro for the salvage looting once I get back up to senior contractor again with the headhunters. I made that grind in my PTU, so now I gotta kind of regrind it in live. But at least that one will be a bit more permanent. I plan to get a lot of use out of the raft, and we'll see how the thruster wash, we might call it, ends up being on that ship. Looks like we're still loading up at a pretty decent clip here. Red car. I love my C2 often loading it up to 1,000 SCU. Well, shit. Hell yeah. That'll take care of most of the experience missions. That's what I was thinking. Buy the whole C and then get money back whilst I get whatever else. Yeah, it's kind of how I look at it. The Maggie C here, as problematic as she can be, is definitely one of the main revenue drivers that will allow me to access other things in the game that I want to try or do, which is really cool. Like, I've got several ships now bought in-game that so far I've been lucky to keep with me. The Hull C itself is an in-game ship purchase. This isn't a pledged Hull C. And she's been with me since I fired up this YouTube channel, really. I think it was 401 or 402, the early Pyro builds. And since then, I've gotten my hands on the Corsair, the Saber Comet, Saber Firebird, Razer EX, a couple of ships. Thanks to how much money this ship can make me. Also, too, now that my bounty rep is high enough, going into Pyro and doing bounties, or going into Pyro and eventually doing the salvage looting, making millions looting gold, there are some other avenues for making money that are really good. I melted my Hull C and just pledged a merchantman, so I have a Herc and Hull C as loaners. There you go. See, that might be the 4D chess move right there, guys, if you've got the resources for it. Not trying to, encourage people to spend their money in any certain ways, but if you want to be able to get the best of both worlds, just pledge for that BMM and get the loaners and have some fun. I just got access to the senior missions last night. Very nice, yeah. The missions don't seem to really add any more value in the sense of like just like the revenue jump that you get from member to senior, obviously, or member to experienced, because you go into the 698. I basically call them all 700k missions because it's either 698 for experienced or 711 for senior. I just made master rank, but I haven't really noticed any master missions even standing out, to be honest. Once you make experienced rank, to me, the hauling rep grind pretty much ends, except you just get more options as you get senior and master. But, I mean, the second you make experienced, you get access to the majority of these missions here, which are really good. And if you can, you can find your own loops, or you can even get lucky. The best one I found is the Everest to Pyro run, where you can run a large 700k mission plus like a 264, 267k mission at the same time, depending on whether or not they overload or would be under the whole C's max capacity. You can run those 2 missions to Pyro and then typically get a return mission from Pyro to Everest. And that is like a 30 gig jump or right abouts. So that is incredibly fast turnaround. As long as Everest Harbor's behaving and not constantly repositioning your player. You know, there are some caveats to that.
Initiating ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area.
Or being told that they're going to initiate ship storage procedure. Let's see if we can...
Ship storage procedure.
No, sir!
For your safety, please vacate the area.
You'll never catch us alive! Let's see if we get repositioned. We were still loading. There's no reason they'd be trying to store us. Yeah, we said, nope. Yeet! Right out. Alright, yeah, this looks good. It said contract, or loading complete. This isn't a full amount, 3196. So yeah, we're 800 or so SCU shy of a full load, which, yeah, that seems about right. I guess we'll find out. It doesn't seem like we actually got all the cargo, but I don't know. It's part of the fun, right? It's part of the test. Hey, what's going on, Bizid? Thank you for the broadcast. I love this. I love the whole sea so much. Yeah, I do too. It's she's been a fun one. She's been an interesting ship to work with, that's for sure. Let's see. Gaming, UEX Corp. Let's actually get onto this so I don't forget and get sidetracked chatting. God, this TS2 is too fast, man. Too fast. All right. Trade. What was I going to do? How did I get to what I wanted to see last time? What did I do last time? How did I navigate this? Locations. Is that what I clicked? Yes. This looks right. Maybe not. Routes. There we go. That's where I was. So we are in our whole sea, which I don't think really matters all that much for this. I mostly want to go here to orbit start and click on Pyro jump. There we go. And we want to look for orbit end, Terra jump. There we go. There are our options. And yeah. So, iron. We could run iron for nearly 400k potential profit. It'll take $1 million investment, and we should come out with a 25% ROI for about 370k at the end of it. And we have 2 options that are pretty high. So we can do that. We can, after we drop our big load, we can head in and get a commodities run back to Terra. And you guys will be able to see the difference in simplicity and time doing hauling versus doing an actual commodities run. So why don't we try that? We are already here. My gosh, this freaking quantum drive is insane, dude. Thanks again, Doc Hobo, for the contribution. I will still be thinking of you when I mine Quantanium, which I need to get into doing to help you on your own mission. But this TS2 is insane. Popping in. Let's see. I don't even know if we grabbed all the cargo. I'm a little doubtful because I got spooked out by the ship storage procedure. Hey, at least it didn't actually grab us and reposition us. I have had in, not 411, but in the patch just before it, I have once or twice tried to quantum out, and the station decided to say nope, and actually repositioned me into the station anyway, and my whole sea was just gone. She just, out in the cosmos, left me. Hopefully that is not something we encounter a whole lot here. Yeah, we still got a decent thrust. So we're not... I don't think... I feel light, man. I feel like we're light. Yeah, because we're shooting up to 300 meters a second. A lot quicker than I'd be used to. All right, let's take a peek ahead. This is something I like to do just to make sure we don't have any asteroids directly in front of us. Looks like we're going to be okay. We're going to angle down a bit here. And we're going to begin rotate for turn and burn. Yeah, the small box first thing kind of bugs me too. It doesn't make sense to me.
Hello, and thank you for
But, oh, I was over rotating. All right, how are we doing? We're coming in. It's on the other side. So usually I start my burn when ATC contacts like that. But we are going to wait a second longer. There's our box. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and decelerate. Coming in this Canterbury style. Just want to be mindful of where turrets and asteroids are in these areas. Oh man, there's actually appears to be a whole sea in our loading zone. That's unfortunate. Well, we're going to be a good steward, a good... well, that might not actually be an active whole sea too. We're going to wait and see what happens. If they're active, I don't want to crowd them. Wow, we actually had enough boost to completely slow down. That's how light we were traveling there. So let's head over this way. We got a full whole sea here, shields up and all. Could be abandoned. We'll get close enough to see if we see any cargo loading on them. At least we'll be able to tell that way. I want to have good etiquette, you know? I've never been successful at getting loaded or offloaded at Aorus. Yeah, I've had a lot of success over at Aorus, but I've also had a lot of problems. I'm delivering 2400 to 4100 in my whole C and still going over 500k by submitting. Ooh, Retgar, careful. 2400 to 4100, you submit that, you're going to take a reputation hit. Got to be over 75%. Be very careful with that, guys. Dropping your big load should be a private affair, don't you think? Hey, I mean, I was dealing with that this morning. Hence the 20-minute late live stream. And yeah, Doc, definitely putting it to good use. I always forget how fast this sucker is until we get moving. All right, let's see. 10 meters a second is pretty slow. Let's take a peek. I don't see any cargo on that whole sea. That might be an abandoned ship just kind of sitting here in our spot, so I'm thinking we just get in there. Yep. Alright. I don't see any cargo. We'll just keep our distance. We'll come a little lower into the box here. It's a little spooky. It's like the ghost of another whole sea. Alright. Yeah. Calm down, Maggie. Calm down. There we go. And immediately communicating for offload. This is one of the benefits of being in a low player count shard. Again, we have under 60 people in this shard. So if you can find a friend and join their server, I'll do that now when I kind of just want to have some fun, you know, with something like the whole sea where server health is such a big driving factor in whether or not it's going to perform well. Is I'll be looking for friends that aren't in 600 player count shards. Like, I'm really glad for Star Citizen that there are a buttload of shards that have over 500 players in them. That is amazing. As a whole sea captain, I want that shard that's like 300 or less, honestly. The lower the better. So when I popped in this morning and I saw like 57 people in this server, I got happy. I was like, let's go. This is the whole seas kind of morning. All right, we're hitting 2,000 SCU and climbing. Let me take note of our shards and stuff for my data stuff I can update later. APSE shard 40, 57 players. It's gonna be sloppy for now. One partial small mission, and definitely a partial large mission there, but well over 75%. One partial large. I'm just collecting data to be able to measure difference between patches. I'm going to probably put this together to actually talk about how last patch did for me versus this patch. So if we're good here, we're going to go ahead and vacate so that we don't get impounded. We're going to collapse the ship, and we're going to head over to an external pad, and we're going to set up our commodities route back to Terra. So now you guys can see a trade running
Thank you. And please
option.
continue launch.
Okay, guys. A little bit much there. Now, if I remember correctly, the external pad was right up here. There it is. Right by where that turret's at. So let's go ahead and actually submit this so the mission goes away. And here at the front, we can see our payout, 540, 750. So out of 711, that's 540. So you take about a 24% cut to your pay when it's a partial. But it's still a decent payout. Now, our landing gear should not be working. No, it is not. So we're going to do the hover by the external pad. So whenever I'm doing commodities runs, I'll typically park the whole C just to the right, just given where our airlock is for quick ingress, egress out. And when your spines are out, you know, being aware of how close you are to that pad is really important so you don't bump into it. But we're going to go ahead and lock up here. Definitely going to go shields on. Probably should have had shields on since we're at the Pyro Gateway anyway. In fact, it's just good to have shields on anywhere you go, for being real. Alright. So we also had another case of the cargo loading hotkey actually working for us at Pyro, which is interesting. Usually you have to go into your MFD, so it's a little temperamental today. We're going to make sure we're helmet on. I've been in a habit of running around with my helmet off lately. What the hell? Okay, we're going to not litter in my own ship. That had to be me. Maybe it was from our shenanigans the other night. But hey, empty cruise bottles are valuable. If you know, you know. Now, what I do, and everybody should do, just, you know, common sense, because people are people, I wait and make sure that sucker's going to close. There we go. We're going to lock her down. Shields are on. She's locked down. Make sure you don't come in too hot to this pad. If you come in from too high and gravity engages and you fall down and slam this deck, it's not going to be fun. Also note we're at pad 2. Pad 2. Important to remember where you're at for when you're done with this. So what we're doing, in case anybody is curious, we're running in to actually start a commodities route. Dave, is there a way to see what shards you're on and how many are in it once you're in game? Yes. Yes, there is. So I will put this in chat for you guys. And you can do this with display info 1 through like 4 or 5. Hang on. R_display info space. I use space 2. Now, you hit the little tilde key on your keyboard to the left of 1. On the, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and just to the left of that, the little approximate sign of a tilde. You hit that, and then you type that in. You can copy and paste it, and the info will show up in the top right corner. Once that happens for you, Dave, let me know if you got any questions for it. Several lines down, you'll actually see the shard ID, and a few more lines down from that, you'll see a little parentheses that'll show shard with a number next to it, and then server with a number next to that. You can get a lot of info this way. And if you want to get rid of that info box, you do the same thing, but you put display info space 0, and it takes that away. Once you put it in the first time, you can actually just hit that little tilde key and then up on your arrow, and it'll bring up the last shown 1. So you can quickly go up and then just backspace 0 and enter to get rid of it. It's just a little bit faster way to do that. But yeah, that's how you figure out what's going on in game. Happy to help. Hell yeah. So you want to make sure that your ship, again, guys, is either on the pad or close to the pad. Close to the pad is fine. You don't have to actually have to have it stored. We're gonna head over to the admin terminal, and we are going to also go ahead and just get some nutrition, because we are thirsty. Admin terminals are usually right in here, which is awesome. They're close, easy to use. We're looking for iron or aluminum for this run back. Now, this gets a little risky, because we're going to have to fork up about $1 million to fully load the whole sea. Alright, let's drop that. Once you're in here, and we got 3.6, so at least we got some change to work with. We got our iron and stuff over here. Iron and aluminum are the two that are good to go to Terra. So you're going to select your whole sea from your options. And you want to make sure that you see your cargo capacity here. What we're doing is creating a work order. So we're going to go over to iron. And you also want to make sure you choose the right size. You can fill up with 576 8 SKU boxes. I've done that a couple times. We're going to select 32 and just bring it all the way up. 4608, 1.486 million in. So it's a little bit more than it was said there. We'll see what our actual profit is. Remember that 1.486 million is our buy-in. This will fill the whole sea with iron. There we go. Pickup from cargo deck required. So essentially what we've done is we've created a work invoice. Now we're going to head out to our whole sea and go pick it up. That part is just like cargo hauling. So basically that's why I said this is hauling missions with extra steps. But this is basically the backbone of whole sea commodities trading. I'm going to make sure I put my helmet back on because we're going to go to an external pad and we don't want to suck vacuum or have vacuum suck us. So pad 2, if you remember as well, because you're going to have 4 options and that'll just waste some time. So this adds an extra layer. It might take a little bit more time and there is added risk. You know, you're leaving your ship out there to go and fill out a work order. But if you're trying to make a bit more money on your routes, make it a bit more worth your time, this is a way to do it. Because we're going to make about double what we were going to make with that other singular mission. That was a hauling mission. Oh, can't do my Spider-Man moves out here. Tractor beam won't fire. Up we go. I'm going to make sure that docking collar finishes and closing. All right. Let's go grab our work order. What the heck? All right. Well, we have some extra smoothie bottles. Okay, now again, this part is just like regular hauling missions. We're just going to pull away. I'm going to go ahead and expand. And we're going to head down and pick up our load. Let's see, will it let us... Now, the hailing option isn't working now, so we're going to go here and actually hail it this way. Cargo hailing, just like with hauling. There's our box. And this will be a truly full hull sea. Full of iron, too. So we're about to be very heavy. Keep in mind just how hard this ship is to control. And then imagine what it's going to be like in our whole D's and E's when those come out in 10 years. Alright. We're stopped. Fully? Not quite. A little wiggle.
Thank you.
There we go.
And please visit again.
And here they come. Iron, anybody? Stupid Armistice. We want Spidey Tractor. I know, man. Spidey Tractor's the way to go. Alright. Yep, we're loading up just fine. Here's our contracted iron. We're going to get all 4608, all 144 units, or 32 SEU boxes. 144 or 32 SKU. This is going to be so heavy. Oh my gosh, we are about to be moving like a brick, man. There should be like an insane flight blade for the whole sea that overclocks the hell out of your thrusters. You guys remember that? The good old days of overclocking your systems? I miss that. I miss that. Pushing your components to redline. That was cool. I would love it. It's so interesting, too, watching how the system loads these ships up. It's like a little bit here, a little bit there, kind of even loading the splines, which I do like, though we are in vacuum, so, you know, microgravity, so it wouldn't really matter. But I do kind of like that they, it's pleasing to the eye that we're sort of distributing like this. It is always awesome, too, to just see a completely capped out whole sea in action. Whole sea out flying an arrow. How funny would that be? Oh my gosh. It'd be sweet if, you guys remember in The Expanse when they were trying to turn around the generational ship and they used all of the construction drone thrusters to attach to the generational ship to actually rotate it and move it? It would be sick to have like drones that you could have deployed to attach to the whole sea to help her move. Oh yeah, there we go. Moving nice and slow. Woo! We are full, my friends. All right, let's go ahead and get sort of away from the station to avoid impound. I'm going to get our thrust vector lined up. We're going to set Terra as our destination here and get over there. Oh yeah, my roll control's like gone. At least pitch isn't too bad. Alright, we're going to overcompensate here. Alright, am I countering it? Oh, hell yeah, I know a thing or two. Let's go. We didn't overshoot that like crazy. Alright. So keep in mind the added risk. We are about, what was it, 1.486? That we dumped into this, so we're 1.5 mil in. Like, we are carrying our own 1.5 million here, which, oh, okay, there's a screenshot. That's the thing when it comes to commodities runs, is very, very much increased risk versus reward. Added steps of needing to create the work order and grab it, but it does provide options for potentially making a bit more money. And depending on what routes, like scrap runs apparently are one of the better ones. UEX Corp is still in the process of updating, which is really cool. It actually shows on their website that they are... Where was it? I think it showed on the main page. I'm not seeing it here. But it said like 4.2 data gathering in progress. So they are trying to constantly keep it updated. So much good information on this site. I'll often go into the trade commodities, open it in a separate tab, because you can click on the different commodities here, like medical supplies, which is what I was running on Saturday that I'll have the video out for. And there's just so much good information on websites like this. I will drop UEX Corp into the chat for you guys if you want to see this. Yo, Flying Man, what's going on? So there is the link to the UEX Corp database for commodities runs and trading and such. And on this side, you can actually set and like click on your loops to see like what you can run back and forth, your projected income, the initial investment to fill up your ship, the size of boxes, the distance of travel, gigameters, 53, because right now we're looking at Terra versus Pyro. So that's our current run we're looking at. You can put in a lot of information here on the side. This is fantastic. I've used Galog in the past too. This does seem to be the better option. Fantastic website. UEX Corp, again, for any of my fellow haulers / traders out there, this is sweet. The one time I tried running commodities in the whole sea, I lost over 2 million in distilled spirits because I couldn't ever get it offloaded. Yes. Yeah, and hence the added risk. So we are taking a big risk here to see if this will actually work. I don't feel as bad in this risk because I know that I can turn around and make a lot of money doing the actual missions. I still think it's a lot faster doing the hauling mission side of this. I mean, calling up the box, grabbing a 700k mission and running is objectively quicker than stopping at a pad, getting out of the ship, setting up a work order. Because you're going to see we have to do that here. We can't just go straight to the cargo deck. We have to go to a pad, go onto the station, go to the admin terminal, set up the delivery work order, go back to our ship, then fly, request the cargo box, drop the cargo. So there's a bit more. Well, here we go. We've arrived. And I believe we have a set of... Yeah, Terra, we actually have a set of external pads behind the cargo bay area. So that's what I want to do. Woo, she's moving weird. Alright, so we're going to set our velocity vector. Okay, come on, big girl. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You're fighting me. You're fighting me. Those lateral thrusters are struggling. There we go. Come on, baby. Line up. There she is. Right into good old empty space dead ahead. We're going to get up as high as we can with our thrusters boosting. Man, we're probably going to get up to 250 is probably, no, maybe 240. We'll see how that feels. 240 meters a second. We're going to start our turn and burn. So the hotfix, I'm not sure what this hotfix is actually addressing. And I don't even know if we're actually in the current game client where the hotfix is located. Because it's client specific. They probably have several clients running at the same time. It's a little bit more nuanced than I originally thought it was. I am running hotfix just in case I end up on one of those servers. but I actually don't know what the hotfix is addressing at the moment. Alright, so we're gonna... It's further back than I thought, actually. We'll do some retro thrust. We'll speed up with some aft burning.
Hello, and thank you for
Okay, we got ATC. Man, see, there are a lot of asteroids out here, like that little one that you got to be careful of. External pads are... Ooh, actually, let's see if I can correct our thrust here. I am slowing down while simultaneously angling us back over here towards these pads. Okay. And... Woo! Come on, big girl. Damn, we are still flying at over 140 meters a second. Alright, here's our actual pads. Might be okay. Might be able to kick the burners on again. We should be able to set up those orders from our Moby Glass. I agree, actually. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. And yeah, I get it, Sting and Rick. I would feel the same way. It's like, yeah, I can afford the loss, but that doesn't mean it feels good. Alright, not bad, not bad. We're pretty much right next to the pad here. I'm going to give us a rotate. This is going to be painful. Heartseeker turrets were fixed at the hotfix. Nice! Before the Heartseeker turret could be installed, but the Gatlings were missing. What a pain that is. Alright, come on, big girl. Let's get that rotate going. Should be pretty much right where the pads are, though. What the hell? Hold up. I just got totally disoriented. Alright, they're behind us. This is why I need head tracking. It'd be a lot easier just to look around from inside the ship. Okay. Got all discombobulated there. There's the pad. So let's move this big hunk of metal just over to this side. I am doing slow movements because, man, are we massive. Bringing us down about 10 meters a second. Okay. It's looking a bit better here. Shields up, coupled active. Make sure we actually come to a stop. Looks good. All right. Let's go get this work order set up. Yo, Lee, what's going on? My friend lost his whole C and... Oh, no. Oh, man, that breaks my heart. I've had a couple of buddies lose like a Saber comment or something. I know a few people that have lost ships, but to lose a whole C, that is kind of my worst fear, honestly. Because this Maggie C here is in-game bot. Yeah, I also... That's exactly when I got my whole C, Rick. Supply or die. That was me as well. It was those funds. That's right. So the hauling missions got me most of the way there that I was doing. I got like to like 11 million. But then the supply or die payouts got me the rest of the way really quickly to getting a whole C. Oh, shoot. Lee, if you can, man, if your friend's cool with it, or if you're on our Discord, what is happening? I was going to say, shoot me your buddy's gamer tag, and I will try to contribute to the recovery of his whole C. Pad 3. Remember that. I lost an ATLS and M2 Guardian for free. Oh, man. It sucks that people are losing stuff. I definitely count my blessings that I haven't. I said pad 3, right? Totally just spaced out on what pad I was on. But yeah. Let me know what their gamer tag is if you can. What's up, Smeeg? What's going on? I will happily contribute if I can to the recovery of the whole C. That hurts. That hurts big time. Oh yeah, navigating Terra is its own sort of monster. Actually, the zoomed out map on my heads-up display is pretty awesome. That makes it a lot easier. I don't know why it's so zoomed out, but dope. Thank you for that. Is there an in-game command to zoom in and out of the map that I didn't know about? Maybe I did that on accident. I get lost between Terra and Magnus all the time because they're not laid out very smartly. Pyro gateways actually lay out in a really intelligent way, like where the elevator is. Terra and Magnus, not so much. Oh, man. The dragonfly, no! Yeah, sounds good, Lee. Just let me know. Alright, Hull C, select. There it is, our iron. Alright, let's see. We were in for 1.4. So, just under 400k. That's good. That's better than the 154k mission we were doing. Let's see if it all sells. Let's see if it actually gets rid of it all. So it's going to take all 144 units, which is good. Alright. We're not done yet, though. We don't get paid or anything until we actually drop this off. All these crew smoothie boxes. Drinks. Okay, let's get back to our ship. Yeah, it's never fun to lose stuff in the game. Actually, the only things I know that I lost for sure were my XL1 quantum drives and one of my JS400 power plants. So I was actually surprised to see that some of my military components actually did carry over, and a buttload of other stuff did. I had a lot of stuff that... So I intentionally dropped about 6 million on basically all the components that I could get for all of my ships as an experiment. And it worked. Yeah, I had like 20 parapet shields, a bunch of Genoa power plants, Breton power plants, a bunch of quantum drives that all carried over. I'd probably say for me, very, very fortunate that probably north of 90% of my stuff carried over. That looks so cool. Fully loaded Hull C just chilling out here. Can we Spidey Tractor? Yeah, see, we can Spidey Tractor out here. Yo, Dave. Okay, I have to ask, why are you picking up the empty cruise bottles? Okay, yeah, I'll tell you. So there's a wonderful thing with the cruise smoothie bottles. You don't need to buy a million of them. You only need to buy 2. And all you do is make sure you put them back in. And as long as you have them stacked, when you drag it to your hand to drink it, you get the blessings of Chris Roberts, and you can use the smoothie bottle again. So I like to pick up the empty ones just to have them on hand. And I'll usually drop them at different stations I'm at, so I always have some of the bottles at the different stations that I go to. Usually at the gateways like Magnus, Terra, Pyro, I'll have a couple of cruise smoothie bottles, whether they're the full ones I buy or an empty one. Because sometimes the inconvenience of your character dying of malnutrition can be really annoying. So having extras is always good. But I also, you know, kind of a fun little pun of just keeping the verse clean. I like to pick them up too to fight some of the litter, but it's a mix of that and the usefulness of the cruise smoothie bottles. It is one of the things that we hope that the blessings of Chris Roberts in that way don't end. I'm sure eventually they'll do something about it, but for now it's been awesome. And yeah, our cargo grid should be right here next to us. Let's go ahead and order our box. There it is. Should be pretty close. Heck yeah. And right next to an asteroid. Oh, we are going to overcompensate like crazy on that. There we go. Like counter thrusting, like drifting a ship in space. May the blessings of Chris be with you. Yes. Weirdly, he lost 1 JS400 and XL1 NB30s on his Asgard too. Yeah, that's I kept a JS400 and an Avalanche cooler. Those were the 2 military components that carried over. I lost 2 XL1 quantum drives, a JS400, 2 Avalanches, and I think that's it. I think I had some grade A stealth stuff too that didn't carry over. But for the most part, I came out pretty okay. Not complaining. Alright, we're going to boost slow down because we are really heavy and we are slowing down. Woo! Too slow, too slow. We are slowing down slow. Slow squared. Right to the edge. Okay. Cool. Parking brake engaged. Going back in a coupled mode. Holding. Hands off the sticks. We're gonna have to shimmy? We're gonna have to shimmy. Oh boy. You better offload us. Little aft shimmy. Hopping out of the seat. Sometimes when you hop out of your seat, it's a weird thing where it like recommunicates with your avatar in the server. So, you know, also the thing that I was kind of worried about was the thruster sway on the whole C. It has not affected our ability to load and offload, which is good. Sweet, the seat worked. We resunk with the server. Hell yeah, seat check. Let's go. And we are dropping the load. Dude, oh yeah, whiskey, I'm glad you said that. I did keep smoothies. That is one of the things that always gets wiped, is like your food and drink, your commodities, your ammo. I randomly kept 3 drums of F55 LMG ammo and like 7 crew smoothie bottles, or no, it was closer to like 20 crew smoothie bottles. And some were empty and some were full. It was the weirdest thing. I lost an XO1, 4 JS400s, and 4 app. Oh no. Sad day, sad day. I also looked out in the 4.2 update, only lost some mining modules. Yeah. I actually kept the majority of my mining modules too. My Rigers, my Torrents, my Surge, and Stampede between the gadgets, or sorry, the modules, the consumable and passive. It was pretty good. Definitely lost a couple of things, but I kept the majority of stuff. Whiskey saying I didn't lose anything, even kept my Loot Goblin stuff. Yeah, that's dope. They're definitely making some pretty big strides with component persistence. So I'm happy to hear that on scale, a lot of people kept stuff. Losing ships, though, that hurts the most to me. Damn. It'd be a sad day if I lost the Maggie C. At that point, I probably would have to pony up and pledge her. I've got enough time with her that I feel like I've sort of given myself the reason to actually do that. Except I probably would save up and make a really bad decision and just pledge the whole E at that point. I gotta wait till I'm getting that real estate money, guys. I gotta clear some debts before I go getting bigger ships. All right, cool. And that should be it. So we'll pull out of here. And we'll just kind of drift away at about 50 meters a second while we check things. Money should have come in. Yep, cool. Just over 4 mil. That gave us about a 400k profit there. So we're going to go back in. It took everything too, so that's good. So that was a good commodities run back for nearly 400k, which was a little bit more than double what we would have made from the hauling mission back this way, though with added time. So, you know, it could definitely still be an argument that it would have been faster to just do the 154k mission back and then jump right back into this 700k mission back to Pyro. You know, it's an interesting. Let me know, what do you guys think? Because I definitely see the argument for just running the hauling missions. There are definitely better ways to optimize your trade runs, of course, if you're just trying to go for the money grind. But I haven't seen any commodities that really stand out as being that good that they would replace
You are clear to launch.
hauling missions, honestly. Hauling missions still seem to be the best bang for your buck. At least out of the whole sea. I don't know. Let's get in here and load up. And so far on this nice low shard count, we're doing really good. Server communication's been pretty baller. Okay, slowing down. Let's level off here. Engage our parking brake. Little back strafe. Hands off. What's up, guys? What's going on? Do I need to get out of my seat again? Is the server starting to struggle? Do a little down strafe shimmy. Oh, I just broke it as it was starting. That was my bad. What are we doing? Did I mess it up? Oh no. That sounds like the infinite loading tick. Hang on. Let's hop out of our seat. Haven't had this in a while. The whole C is 4608 cargo. Yeah, Whiskey just put it in chat. The whole E is 98,000 cargo. And it basically will not turn. All right, yeah, we started to load and then had our tick. All right, so we're going to do a little troubleshoot. We're going to leave. We're going to break Armistice and come back. This is one of the workarounds. We'll see how it goes because we're acting up. We're going to move a little fast, too. We're going to blitz up. Kill our decoupled, or kill coupled mode so we can not keep slowing down. Coupled flight all day, baby. That's how I roll. I'm only coupled when I'm trying to stay in one position or stopped. So the reason we're trying to break Armistice, for anyone who's curious, is to get that box to disappear. We need that cargo grid to go away. And then I'm going to try to reposition to get a better cargo grid on this side. We only got to be about 10 clicks out, so we're almost there. I'm going to go ahead and start boosting forward. Because once we break Armistice, that box will disappear. Oop, I didn't go far enough. Let me back up some more. Try to keep in mind there are asteroids all around you too, so try to keep a visual. Yeah, we're flying by a bunch of them right now. Hold up. Let's see what's behind us. Okay, we're in the clear. Damn, dude. Let's go, Armistice. I thought it was 10 clicks, but no, it's further. All right, there we go. Loading area revoked. So that grid should disappear, and we're going to try to position ourselves to get a different grid. Well, it says loading area revoked, but the box is still down there. Interesting. We're bumping into some of our first issues.
Hello, and thank you for
I've never had a case where it says landing area revoked, but the grid is still visible on screen. So Hull C is great profits, especially when it's working right. We're a little weird now. Did we get a new grid? We did. Wait, oh, we have 2 grids on screen. Anybody ever seen that? This is a new one for me. I haven't seen 2 grids before. Hopefully this grid works. It's kind of cool that you mentioned that, Alaska, or asking about the Hull C, because we've had a good morning so far. But we're having our first weirdness. Our first issues crop up. I haven't had the sort of infinite loading tick in a long time where it keeps trying to initialize the loading sequence. Let's see. We'll get in here. We'll come to a stop. We'll do a little apt shimmy. Then we'll go hands off. Shoot. Okay, we're going to try another troubleshooting measure. This doesn't usually work for me, but we're going to head out and try to reposition those small boxes to see if the larger ones start popping on board. We are good. We're helmet on. Let's get out here and do some manual labor. Wreck, I love that. I say that shit all the time. I'm always yelling at myself. All right. We're going to remove these 2 things of hydrogen. We loading anything yet? No. See, this strategy never really works for me. The idea is by removing the small ones, you free up the ship to start pulling things in. Let's get back in here and see. Whee! Alright. I don't like to leave my doors open. We're still getting that infinite loading tick. So yeah, we've got our first communication breakdown. So, and this isn't always the end-all be-all. Sometimes it just means you got to abandon the mission and start another one. Which we can do. I don't like leaving boxes around. That's not something I like to do. Give it a little movement shimmy here. See what happens. Yeah, this is busted. Damn. Well, let's back away. We will try the abandoned tactic and see what happens. I really don't like leaving those 2 boxes there. That's That's kind of lame. Let's go in. We're going to abandon. Now, remember, abandoning is fine. Abandoning doesn't negatively impact your reputation. What's going on, Gareth? Good to see you. My one X-commenter. I love it. I can't wait for X to get bigger on the streaming side. I am available on, YouTube, Twitch, and X, guys, previously known as Twitter. So if you're on all three platforms, same handle on each one. But yeah, so submitting here would be horrible. This would nuke my rep to high hell. That would be very bad. Abandoning won't do a thing. So keep that in mind. You can abandon and your rep will be okay. I'll just show you guys back over to Kovalex, and I am still master certified. That's kind of where I've been sitting. So let's go in and try again. We'll see if we get lucky with grabbing this mission another time. Sometimes you just gotta reset. And I'm not exactly sure what happens when you're doing that on the back end that makes this work. Maybe because you're forcing the cargo grids to all reset. Well, the cargo grids definitely did not reset. You guys think we can get a third grid to pop up? See, Rick, I'm not sure that's true, that you earn more with commodities. Like, maybe you can give me some commodities and routes to try out to put that to the test. But the amount of time it takes to get the contract set up and the profits that you earn, they don't seem to measure up to, well, when these missions are working properly, I should say, to how fast you can pump out these hauling missions. But I might not be running the right commodities or the right routes. So I'm open to suggestions so I can test it out and sort of science it. But in my first little taste of commodities running, it's not been what it seems to be hyped up as.
You are clear to launch.
Let's see. Did we get another? Still got the same box here. Yeah, this is sort of busted. Let's try quantuming out and back real quick to see if that might do a little fixing to our problem here. We just got to get past the station because we're not going to be able to really access our quantum drive yet. Let's see. So, Alaska, I gotta see the commodities versus hauling missions conversation. I'll be able to put a bit more of my thoughts into, a bit more data into as I do them more. But from my first impressions, these higher ranked, experienced and up missions for 700K definitely seem to be a simpler, faster way to make money than doing the commodities runs. But I could be totally off base. I could be completely wrong because I haven't run the right route. More testing required. So I'm going to do that. All right, I'm just trying to get to a point where I can actually... There we go. Just want to partially quantum out to see if we can get a reset on our jacked up cargo grids over here at Terra. This server might be biting the bullet a little bit here. All right, so we broke out. Let's head back. Yeah, I've had a bunch of people saying that, the way to make the most money is through commodities. And that might still be true, but that might also be outdated. Am I C2 pulling containers of stims and pyro, taking to stand iron over 800K? So, that's another part of the equation here is, I've also run diamond and Zapan over 800K. Okay. See, these are the things that I gotta do some more testing on. Now, how reliably can I get, like a whole C or something through the wormhole and all, too? There's a lot of factors to bring in. I just gotta do the experiment, I'm gonna see how it ends up shaking out. Okay, now all these grids should be gone. We should have got like kind of a clean sweep here of our weird cargo boxes. So we're gonna head back in and try to load up again. So what I would be interested in, Rec, maybe next time on the stream, if you do this, you can let me know. I want to know, like, hit the timer from, like, maybe the second you grab your ship out of the hangar and time the whole process, getting in your ship, going and setting up the work order, grabbing the work order, submitting the work order, dropping the cargo, and then getting the next work order, and then, like, do, like, a lap or a timer on that, and then do it again, like, restart the timer from there and do that again, and kind of get an idea of like how long is it actually taking to do that whole process, measured against how simple and quick it is to actually get the cargo from these stations.
You are clear to launch.
There we go. We've got our grid. We got one grid popped up right here. Because that's what I'm gonna do, Rec. I'm gonna actually try to do like practical timing scenarios. Because pure profit's one thing, but time invested, risk assessed, and everything as well. I want to get a more all-inclusive representation of what it's like to actually do the commodities runs. I'm very interested in actually getting into that now that I've sort of broken the mold and tried it a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna sit. Oh, we're loading, guys. Okay, cool. So quantuming away seems to have reset our cargo boxes. And we are loading again. Alright, so we got a workaround to actually work. Going away from Armistice didn't. We started to spawn duplicate boxes. Dropping the mission didn't get rid of the cargo grid boxes, which it typically has in the past. But quantuming out and quantuming back in gave us the ability to start loading again. So, might be a little tedious, a little bit of a workaround there. But hey, this is workaround citizen after all. Sweet, we are loading up. Yeah, I did see on UEX Corp. Do you use any sites like that, Rec, too? I don't know if you're typing up. I'm curious to see what resources you might use. I definitely want to dive in more to both the riskier side. So, let's see. When I saw on UEX Corp, you can make a buttload of money taking scrap across the border. And by across the border, I mean the wormhole from Pyro to Stanton. But there's obviously a major risk factor, especially when you're going in something like a whole sea where you're just kind of advertising to the world, hey, I got a bunch of shit on my ship. But what's cool is if you're running certain things, there's not as much of an incentive to pirate you aside from just spite, just attacking you for no reason, or just trying to shake you down for money and let you carry on, which that's the kind of piracy I'd be like, all right, bet, yeah, I'll shoot you 500k if you let me pass so I can make this mill, so I'll still make a profit even though I'm getting hit by the pirates who are shaking me down at the border. But yeah. But I said, I just discovered you and started following you. This is really good content. Oh, man, awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Cool. I stream, at least for now, 3 days a week, scheduled. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. That might change in the future depending on my real estate business ventures and how schedules work. Might mean I can stream more. Might mean I have to stream less. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, my schedule's staying the same. But I'm really glad you're enjoying it. That is a valid point. I hadn't considered. Time invested, I was probably in a little over an hour and 30 minutes load, 30 minutes offload, about 10 for travel. Yeah. I figured that much. Oh, scrap isn't really worth it. Neither was gold. Okay. See, this is why I really enjoy the community and being able to chat with you guys about this stuff. It's super friggin' helpful. There is no way we're done loading. That cannot be accurate. We are not done loading. Okay. There it goes. It's continuing. I just bought the whole scene game. The issue is people don't hail you and try to shake you down. They just kill you and leave. Yeah, see, these are wannabe pirates. These aren't real pirates. They're murder hobos berating as pirates. That's different. I don't consider them pirates. I just consider them trolls, which sucks. I mean, like a proper pirate that is going to basically stop you and be like, all right, you got two choices. Pay up, lose a little, or lose everything. And I'd be like, I'm going to pay up. I'm gonna pay up. How much you want? You want a burger and some beer, but go on with the pay? Here you go. Thanks, man. You guys take care. I'm gonna carry on and keep delivering my load. Lee Ford, why so early in the morning for you? So good question, man. So I originally my reason for getting up this early just actually stemmed with me being excited to get back into Star Citizen. I found that waking up this early meant I was actually gonna get up with my alarm clock. Because before, what I would do... Oh, sweet, we finished loading. Let's go ahead and get on to our next spot. While I tell you my reason for being a psycho, as Smeed calls it. No, stop trying to store my shit. So before I had gotten back into playing Star Citizen, I had it was like a year hiatus because of moving and all kinds of craziness. I finally started getting back into the gym. This all kind of stems back to me getting back into the gym and needing to get back into the gym consistently. Now that I'm back in Florida with family, my dad and I can work out together again. So I started... for him and I to be motivated to go train together, I was like, yo, I'll train with you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll go to the gym with the wife on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I am not traditionally a morning person. It takes so much energy for me to wake up And like even for like my stomach to feel all right and for my body to be like in the mood to go to the gym, to actually push the weights and to get into it, what started to work for me in a funny way was getting up even earlier to play some video games. Because I was excited to get up to play some games, and then in that 2-hour time playing video games, I'm awake, I'm ready, my metabolism's kicked in, I can have some food, I'm ready for my pre-workout, and when I go to the gym, I'm ready to get it. You know, it is a better mental state. And then I randomly got the idea when I was watching some Whole C videos. I was like, you know what? Why don't I start live streaming? Why don't I just do it? Screw it. Let's make some Whole C content. There's not a whole lot of hauling focused content that I've seen, or people that are really kind of giving this ship a whole lot of time in the content space, at least for what I was seeing. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. And the rest is sort of history there. Getting up this early just honestly allows me to take advantage of the rest of my day in a better way. Like, I'm able to do this, I'm awake, I can go to the gym, and I can get the rest of my workday going. And then I'm usually winding down, getting to bed by about 2000 hours or 8 p.m. to do it again the next day. So, yeah, there you go. There's my reason for being up so early. It would be a lot cooler if they called you and asked for money and let you pass. Yeah, I agree. There was a good example of that at one point, because I think the in-game hailing stuff does work. You just got to make sure you answer your hails if you might be in a pirate shakedown. I don't know. I haven't actually had that experience much, so I can't really give too much like personal anecdote on that. I'll pay you, but it's not going to take away the pain of mommy's revolving door of... What? 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 I just totally lost that. Those are the pirates that got me yesterday. Just kill. At least they stayed for my RMC so I could pirate them back. Nice. You should upgrade Whole C before 421 comes, because you'll have bigger guns in the new update. This is a stupid trick, but it works. All upgrades cost an average of 1.5 mil. Oh, for the Whole C. So I take my weapons off of my Whole C. That way I have more power going to my shields and engines and all. I haven't really cared too much for my guns, because I'm not fighting anybody in my Whole C. Yeah, people looking to sell or purchase items often a setup. You do want to be careful of that, because they'll trap you. It's kind of like in real life, man. You want to be careful using things like meeting up with people in real life. You know, take a friend, be in a public place. All the same kind of methods sort of apply to Star Citizen. You ever hear the Starlight Radio on YouTube? They do Star Citizen Radio. A good one is the Whole C 4608 Butte Colton Star Citizen Radio. I'm gonna have to check that out. Thanks for bringing that up, Alaska. Awesome. I want to remember that Starlight Radio on YouTube. I like working around Starlight Station in Pyro too. That's cool. There are 23 people watching this skilled captain, but no one has liked him yet. I hope you run out of fuel in the quantum jump. No. No, I remember I had to fuel up when we started. You might have missed that. That was kind of funny, because I started the day without actually making sure that we had quantum fuel. That is a Whole C song. Oh, okay, I'll have to check that out. Whole C 4608. Starlight Radio is awesome. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out, guys. Heck yeah. We are rolling in, and shoot, speaking of time, this is actually going to be the run that has to conclude our stream, unfortunately, because I gotta set this ship down and get that pre-workout and breakfast and all ready to go. I can't believe it's already 5 o'clock. Jeez, time flies, man. Nah, we don't like him. Let's, Had a total brain fart here. I was reaching for, I found these awesome little drinks. I don't know if you guys can see these. I don't plan to drink these, because I'm just kind of just having these cans here next to me as collectibles, but these are really awesome artworks on these cans. I discovered a store out here that I'd never been to called Five Below, and they had a lot of really cool little knickknacks like this. Ultra Instinct Goku on a can. How sick is that, dude? I keep on instinctively wanting to reach over here, though, for my drink, and I'm like, nope, that's not my drink. All right, let's wrap this up. And get some boost behind this. A lot more power and acceleration without that full weight of iron we had. I'm really glad that worked, though. We didn't actually have any issues with that commodities run. And that was a solid 400k. Well, a little bit less. 360, 380, something like that. We'll get up to about 300 meters a second. And we'll get ready for turn and burn. Let's make sure we're clear ahead. Looks like we don't have any rocks or anything in front of us. Let's start that rotation. Oh, thanks for the link, thanks for the link, Ryder. Sorry, awesome, good stuff. Thanks for the awesome. I will check that out. Whoop. All right, let's wait for the ATC call.
And thank you for
Give it a few more seconds because we have enough thrust to actually slow down. So we'll kind of feel this out. All right, let's hit it. Full retro burn active. So many random rocks just around out here. It's nerve-wracking. Yeah, there's that same whole sea that we were here last time with. Hopefully we don't get that same box again. All right. We are slow enough. Let's go ahead and call our grid. And it worked. Okay. Yeah. Pyro's a little touchy today. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We got the same grid. Damn it. Well, I was also closest to that one, so that's kind of my fault. Because these typically seem to spawn closer to your ship, wherever you happen to call it from. So that's on me. I didn't realize we were coming in right next to this whole sea. It's the same one though. It's an abandoned ship. Must have been having a rough time. He gave up. Let's level off here. Make sure we're staying in the grid. Sort of space parking brake engaged. Doesn't look like we're moving. There we go. We're offloading. I was about to give it a little shimmy too. Are we dropping? Yep, we are. There they go. Boxes are leaving. There we go. Can see all the boxes from this angle, or all the splines. Sound of moving of the ship make me feel like I'm running something really big. Yeah, actually, I agree. It does a good job of feeling like you're actually in a crazy vessel that you're launching this cargo with. It makes me wonder what it's going to be like to fly the bigger ones, the whole D&E. Granted, they consider, literally the description, if you look on the website, they consider the whole sea to be the nimble option. So just wait. Just wait to what it's like, or wait to see what it's like to try to maneuver a whole D or a whole E. Yeah, the whole C is no Canterbury. No. No, it is not. Actually, what are the dimensions of the Cant? I wonder if anybody's done that. I wonder if anybody's, like, put an image or anything up. I have to look this up now. Whole C versus Canterbury. Did anybody actually do this by any chance? Did anybody have that? Doesn't look like it, but we can ask Grok. Are we done loading? We are done loading. I don't want to get my ship impounded. Cargo complete. Yeah. Not a full load drop, but hey, that's okay. You know, we can just bed log too. We're just gonna blast us off in a particular direction for a sec.
Thank you, and please visit again.
We'll close her up. We'll submit our mission. Since we're well over 75%, remember that. If you're under 75%, don't do it. You'll lose rep. That's a bad time. All right, pretty good. Up to 4.5 mil now, though. Some decent monies this morning. Not a whole lot of contracts. We flew through time there. But yeah, let's have some fun here, guys. Let's see. We got Super Grok. AI is a wonderful thing. All right. Hey, my friend. Let's compare the Canterbury from the Expanse to the Mist Whole Sea. How do they fare in dimensions and cargo capacity? This should be fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're right. The Canterbury is 1 kilometer long and 250 meters wide. Woo! So Grok right here saying, Canterbury, the Expanse, dimensions 1,000 meters long, approximately 250 meters wide. Cargo capacity, large hollow bay for ice hauling. Capacity unspecified, but designed for bulk ice from Saturn's rings. Crew of 55 people. Versus the Mist, Hull C, and Star Citizen, dimensions 100 to 150 meters long. Depends on whether or not you're extended or not. Cargo capacity, 4608 SCU. 144 by 32 containers. Crew 4. Comparison, dimensions Canterbury significantly larger. Canterbury's ice bay is likely rival or exceeds the Hull C's capacity. But SCU comparison is unclear due to different cargo types. Canterbury requires 55, while the Hull C only has 4, reflecting automated differences. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's cool. That's fun. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I knew the Canterbury was going to be massive, but I wanted to see if there was like an idea. I don't think Grok can render images. Can you render an image of each or a comparison shot for us? This is where he's going to mess it up. They're not really good at actually rendering the ships accurately. We're probably going to get 2 totally random spaceships here. Yeah. This is cool, but yeah, these are just random pictures. Yeah, this, I haven't seen Grok or ChatGPT really able to, like, be like, hey, show me a picture of, like, a Hull C or a Canterbury. Let's see, actually, let's try something more colloquial, just for fun. Can you create an image of the Starship Enterprise? See, this is a really popular ship that should be easy to make an image of. The Hull C would fit inside the Canterbury. Yes. Okay, see, so awesome. All right. It does recommend, or wow. That's A for effort, I guess. That's interesting. We're not there yet, boys. We're not there yet. I appreciate the effort. Oh no, it's trying to another. All right, we're just locked in. I'm just gonna give Grok a break. Really good for info, not so great for generating accurate images of spaceships yet. Random abstract ships, fine, but telling it like, hey, you know, show me a space shuttle or like an accurate representation of one. It's probably not gonna be the best. All right. Like I normally do with bed logging, just for good practice, we should be well far away from the station to attract any attention or anything. Yeah, we're way out of sensor range for most ships. So we'll chill out here. I'm gonna kill my engines. Shields are up. We're going to go and bed log. This is a fun session, guys. That's cool to see up to about 44 viewers on this again. I didn't even repost on X, which would have driven that up a lot, but arbitrarily, because they haven't fixed that. And this is why these things are AI. No matter how much someone says they are, they're trash, and I hate it when people call this shit AI. Don't get me started, though. I will say that as an informational assistant, it's been incredibly impressive. Grok and Chat have been really good in that way. But renditions of art and such, not so much. Let's AI drunk, yep. Yeah, good game. Yeah, this was fun. Definitely looking forward to getting more Hull C time. I'm going to get Pyro time in as well. And we'll do some other stuff, too. We're going to eventually get into actually doing salvage and mining and some other stuff. But this is a good day. We made some good money. We saw that it mostly worked. We didn't have any complete completions. We didn't have any full contract completions for hauling. We had a good commodities run back. We had a partial completes that totaled in just over $1 mil. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to get out of here and go try to get big and strong with my dad and move this real estate game on. Let me know what you guys think of the stream down below. If you have suggestions or ideas for videos or guides or anything you want to see, hit me up in the comments on the videos on X. You can actually reach out pretty easy on X, DMs, or just at me on X, and I'll see it. Captain Deadwake, or CPT_Deadwake, just like YouTube and Twitch. I'm trying to grow that platform as well. But it is always a pleasure, my friends. I'm going to get out of here. I will catch you guys in the verse. Take care.